welcome to my channel. I am Ranjitha.G, currently studying in Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bengaluru from Department of Basic Science. I am from first semester in Computer Science and Engineering. The subject is Mathematics for CSE stream. The topic is Applications of Polar Coordinates. The contents are Introduction to Polar Coordinates, Applications of Polar Coordinates in Art and Design, in Engineering, in Physics and in Mathematics field. Applications of Polar Coordinates, exploring the versatility of polar coordinates, applications and insights. Introduction to Polar Coordinates. An overview of polar coordinates and their significance in mathematics and physics. Explore the advantages and unique insights gained from using polar coordinates in various applications. Polar coordinates can be used in mathematics, physics and many other fields also. They are useful in exploring the advantages and unique features using the polar coordinates in various applications. Polar coordinates in art and design field, exploring the aesthetic and creative applications of polar coordinates in art and design. Discover how artists and designers leverage polar coordinates to achieve symmetry and intricate patterns. Polar coordinates are used in creating aesthetic and creativity of the applications of polar coordinates in art and design of the product. It is also useful in how artists are design the symmetry and intricate patterns of the product. Polar coordinates in engineering field. Applications of polar coordinates in engineering design, including their use in antenna design, signal processing and control system. Polar coordinates is useful in making the antenna design, signal processing and control systems. They are also useful in increasing the efficiency through the polar coordinate representation in engineering field. Polar coordinates in physics. The utility of polar coordinates in describing physical and phenomena such as circular motion, wave propagation and electromagnetic field. Polar coordinates is useful in describing the physical phenomena such as circular motion, wave propagation and electromagnetic field, etc. They are also useful in understanding the clarity and simplicity of the polar coordinates in a physics field. Introduction to Polar coordinates. Polar coordinates provide a powerful tool to describe position and motion in physics. They are useful in describing the position and motion in a physics field. They are widely used in fields such as electromagnetism and quantum mechanics. This presentation explores the applications of polar coordinates in understanding the behavior of physical system. Polar coordinates are also useful in understanding the behavior of the physical system such as electromagnetism and quantum mechanism. Polar coordinates in electromagnetism. In the study of electromagnetic fields, polar coordinates are used to describe the behavior of the waves and distribution of the charges. Electromagnetism field is useful. The polar coordinates are used to describe the behavior of the waves and distribution of the charge. They provide a convenient way to analyze the symmetry and direction. They are also useful in analyze the symmetry and direction of the given phenomena. Polar coordinates in quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics relies on polar coordinates to describe the angular momentum of particles and the probability distributions of their positions. These coordinates are fundamental in understanding the behavior of particles in spherical potential. Polar coordinates are useful in describe the angular momentum of particles and probability distributions of their positions. And they are also useful in understanding the behavior of the particle in spherical potentials. Polar coordinates in mathematics. Exploring the wonders of polar coordinates in mathematics field. Introduction to polar coordinates. Polar coordinates provide a unique way to represent points in the plane using r and theta instead of x and y. Polar coordinates are used in mathematics field in a unique way. It can represent the r and theta instead of x and y in a plane. The system is particularly useful for describing circular and radial patterns in the mathematics. It is useful for describing the circular and radial patterns. It has wide applications in physics, engineering, and many other fields also. Graphing polar equations. Graphing polar equation involves understanding the relationship between r and theta and how they produce various curves and the patterns. The polar coordinates are useful in graphical polar equation in such a way that they describe the relationship between r and theta and how they produce the curves and patterns in the plane. Common polar graph includes circle, circuits, and limacons, which with distinct characteristics and equation. Visualizing these graphs help to gain insight into their behavior and properties. They are also useful in polar graphs such as circles, cardioids, limacons, which have a unique characteristic and equations. These are helpful in visualizing the graph that helps to gain insight into their behavior and properties of the graphic polar equations. Like this, the polar coordinates have a many applications in many other fields also. Thank you.